at an extremely high level if you want to be successful. More importantly, I think the number one reason is the ability to shake off failure. It's like, get out there, fail. If you're not failing, you're not trying. Build something that you're proud to get up in the morning and do and make. You got to believe if this is what you want. But if you're lying to yourself, you're just going to dig yourself into a hole that you may never get out of. Be honest with yourself.
Good morning, welcome back, Kent Damon, 9 Business Group. We have Jade joining us today, Jade Alberts with peer review on Business Spotlight interview. Jade, introduce yourself. More importantly, introduce kind of your brief overview, kind of where you were as an entrepreneur, and most importantly, where you find your space and what you do with your time today. Jade, welcome.
Oh, welcome. Thanks for having me, Kent. It's good to see you again. I guess my road to entrepreneurship wasn't typical. I was a university dropout and got into sales, and I found my calling. And what I realized working with a lot of smaller family companies that they were teaching me a lot of things about entrepreneurship that I did not think I did not know. I didn't see it for coming. And when the opportunity presented itself, it was a tough decision to pack away a pretty good salary job and become an entrepreneur. But I had great partners, and we grew that business. We bought the rights to Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs in Canada, grew it, sold it, and that's kind of where I started diving into the early stage ecosystem here. And I noticed that, ironically, that there were a lot of people like consultants and marketing people and social media experts kind of ripping off startups and charging them, and they were paying for things that they shouldn't be paying for. And that's where the pure guidance purpose before profit came in. And we have the purpose before profit side is to make sure they have the help they get, the answers they get, that capital doesn't get in the way. And then usually we have, 3 to 5 clients a year that were at about that, 500,000 or so that are scaling, running, and ready to move, but maybe are spinning their tires a little bit. And there are 4 of us now, myself, Mo Aladdin, Peter LaFontaine, and Kyle Kanofsky. So between the 4 of us, we've exited 9 companies. So we've been there, we've walked in their shoes, we understand it. And we get into the dirt with them, go on sales calls, go door knocking, help them. We come like a partner with no skin in the game type thing, because we don't invest in some of these companies. We have after the fact when they've gone through startup TNT, but we want to make sure that we're very clear that we're here to help you not, become a good business and get on the right track. So maybe you can become investable. And then I just do a lot of other things. I'm an active angel investor with over 30 deals in the community. I have my own, live show, Telling It Like It Is, which will be announced this week, actually, has reached over 6 million views. Started Founders Coffee 6.5 years ago, which is, again, a place for founders to just meet and talk to like-minded individuals. So those are, I guess, the startup TNT side of things helped grow that, and down here in Calgary and throughout Western Canada. I'm also the vice president of the Canadian Blockchain Consortium. So we do a lot of work with government and making sure the education side of that is, whether it be governments or regulators, and the whole community as one, speaks as one across our great country. And we have done that. And it is something that I'm very proud of as well.
Okay, so when do you sleep?
Lots of time for sleep.
Good for you. So it's the first I've heard of the blockchain thing. So why did blockchain come across your desk, and why is it important to you? Because 10 years ago it was cool and sort of up and coming. Now it's sometimes in the news, sometimes not. Why is it on your desk, and why is this something you want to put time into?
Yeah, well, I guess blockchain itself, is the underlying technology. It's kind of like the internet. Like, we shouldn't really care about it or talk about it. Like, it's just there. No one says, hey, I'm going to go on the internet. How does the internet work? Right? Like, you always think of things like, oh, we're going to Google it, or we're going to go to Amazon. Those are kind of the way that, we should be thinking in terms of blockchain, because it's just a technology and all the great things that it can do, besides the, Bitcoin and Ether crypto and things like that, whether it be supply chain or health or voting or elections and so many other applications for it that we are advocating for. But again, more on the regulatory side and making sure that, when we do it's coming, and certain things, and who knows, I have no time frame, but even on the, on the crypto side, you want to make sure that it's safe for me, you, and anybody else to go buy a Bitcoin if they want. Now, I mean, you can get it through ETFs now. You have, especially in the States, but in Canada, we've been able to do that for 3+ years. Like, we are one of the leading countries in the world when it comes to regulating crypto, regulating the blockchain industry, and we speak all over the world because of that.
Fascinating. Okay, we'd be remiss. Let's go to the jerseys on the back shelf. We got a Riders helmet, Notre Dame Hounds, Yankees. There definitely seems to be conflict in your world with jerseys. So for me, I find that if someone's going to put it on display, there's always a story. So what is your connection with sports, and why is it on display? What does it mean to you?
Well, it actually goes way, way, way back. Growing up in rural Saskatchewan, of course, we all had to go to church, and I've never really liked reading. Like, I read a lot of blogs. I don't read a lot of books and things like that, or I stay up to date and stay educated on that. But we always had to read something that, when you're at church. And then there was this Jackie Robinson book, and I would read that all the time. Every Sunday, it was sports, because I love sports, hockey, baseball, golf, pick something. I've probably done it or won a championship at it. And it just resonated with me, that story. And I have two Jackie Robinson jerseys. And I think that's where my love of athletes came. Like, I really do think athletes are very similar to entrepreneurs, that same mindset, that same drive, that never give up type thing. And it's hard to have, like, at an extremely high level if you want to be successful. So when you see some of the jerseys back there, you've got your Michael Jordans and your Charles Barkley's and that of the world. Like, I mean, they've done so many different things. Are they perfect human beings? Absolutely not. But I mean, they were able to, to make their probably their post career almost as good as their playing days. Where, I have Kobe Bryant that you don't see on here. So it's things like that. They inspire me. I don't think they're heroes. I think they can be role models, and it's like anything else. You have good role models and you have bad role models. But I choose to look for the good in people, and there's so many of these athletes have inspired me.
Fun question though. Do you think it's easier to be an elite athlete or win an entrepreneurship?
Oh, I would probably say entrepreneurship. You have a better chance.
I agree.
It's not easy in either world, right?
It's not. But as a business coach, I'm watching the playoffs in hockey. You watch Major League Baseball, and you watch teams like, say, the Winnipeg Jacks, or maybe the Boston Bruins now are kind of on the brink. But you go, what does it truly take for a professional hockey team to get to the end, or as an athlete to get to because ultimately a professional athlete has people on the other side winning against you, right? This active battle. And I love that comment. I truly think winning in entrepreneurship should be easier than winning at sports, because there's so much help available to us nowadays, and it's not a limited capacity, right?
Yeah.
It's not a one of scarcity. It's not like only one Stanley Cup. Dude, we can all win. And we can all win large. And if we all win, the world is a better place. So is there a similarity? What do you think would be the top 3 to 5 things that would make a winning athlete similar, that we can learn from a competitive winning athlete to a successful entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think that drive to succeed would definitely be up there, right? That dedication to commitment. I've got to put everything else on my life on the back burner to achieve everything, whether it be waking up at 6 a.m. and maybe missing my odd kid's ball game or something along those lines. I mean, a lot of those athletes are just trained from that. But more importantly, I think the number one reason is the ability to just shake off failure. I mean, these guys, what did Michael Jordan say? He's failed like 35,000, missed 35,000 shots in his day, or he goes, I failed 35,000 times. It just doesn't bother them. And when you talk to entrepreneurs here, it's like, get out there, fail. If you're not failing, you're not trying. And it's something that's very hard for people. It's easy for athletes. I mean, we're told no a lot already. We give up the puck. You see guys make mistakes even in when we're talking in the NHL playoffs right now. It's gonna happen. You see them have breakdowns, like Murray throwing that towel or whatever on on the court in basketball. We all have our brain farts and make mistakes and do things, but these guys can just shake it off and move forward and regain their focus extremely quickly. And I think entrepreneurs can learn a lot from that.
I never thought about it that way. I love it. Okay. So give us maybe an example of some lessons that entrepreneurs need to get over faster and respond from. I get that in a game of hockey, we lose the puck in the corner. Our job is to get it back. We take a shot, we miss the net, we'll keep trying. But what are some setbacks in business would be to say the 2 or 3 things that entrepreneurs get stuck on the most in growing or scaling a business that they need to react from better, or just quote unquote toughen up and get through it faster?
Yeah, the number, this is my personal opinion. I really believe that, in today's, before we went on, we were talking a little bit about raising capital and things like that, right? I think that, we have, as a ecosystem here in Alberta, have really focused on making startups or scale ups, the need to go out and raise capital and do it and get it. And if you don't, you're not going to succeed. And I think it should be the other way around. And I mean, I've talked about this for 9 years. Like, I really do believe that you should go out there and build a good business, build something that you're proud to get up in the morning and do and make. And if you can do a business and make it 1.5, $2 million, that's life-changing money for you, your family, your kids, and you're going to have yourself a great life. And then if you want to scale that business and it's something that you say, you know what, I can take to the next level, well, it'll be a lot easier when you do that. But I think the focus is on some of the wrong things here about raising capital and not focusing on business, and then getting pissed off when people aren't giving you money because they don't like your idea. It's like, well, you're an idea. You're like, you're worth nothing right now. Like, go create it, go make it, go do it, go show that the market wants it. And I really do believe that we are giving some false and some bad advice when it comes to, what they should focus on at the early stage.
It's funny you say that, because it's something, as I've done more of these interviews, I have found more of, and thank you for articulating so well, because it has felt like at times where these guys are running a $500,000 year business or $750,000, and they're more interested in spending 30 hours a week and raising the next level of capital. It's like, yeah, dude, you have a going business, you have an idea, you're selling shit, you're making money, you got clients. Like, why are we? So is it just the culture of wanting to create and be like San Francisco or San Jose, or this place where we have all this think tank money and it's only for a select few? Like, any idea where it's coming from and why it's here?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, Kent. I mean, I think we've been glorifying that a little too much. We don't talk about the failures, the ones that are struggling go away. And I've, as an investor, I've seen thousands and thousands of decks over the last 9 years, and most of them aren't around, right? Like, and some of them have turned into extremely good lifestyle businesses. And do I want to invest in a lifestyle business? If I have a dividend fund, yes, I would, if that's something like that. But as a venture guy or an angel, no, I don't. But that doesn't mean that that's not going to be a good business. Some of these ones, like you said, are running around that $2 to $3, $4 million a year, and they're doing extremely well. But yeah, I think that we glorify that and we pump our tires about, okay, we raised, $1 billion for our startups last year. Well, probably 10 to 12 companies raised, 80-20 rule, right? Like, raised half that money, 80% of that money. So, it's again, it's each to their own. Some people are driven by that, and that's all they have, and that's all they want. And they're looking, 10 miles down the road when they should be looking right in front of their face to see what's needed and what's wanted. But yeah, I get a little bit tired about the, people saying, hey, can I send your deck? We're raising $1 million. I'm like, no, I don't really want to see it. Right? Like,
so you mentioned your kind of resume and the things you've done, and kind of have, you have Pure Guidance, which looks like and sounds like a group of individuals work, and for lack of a better word, do you guys volunteer time to invest your time in helping these companies? And then how is, so maybe just quantify or clarify that, but then talk about the other end, which is the difference between venture capital money and the other half of that. Because I'm with you. I think the scaling money should come after once we have a proven concept. But talk to us about peer guidance a little bit and kind of what that actually looks like and why you do it. Because if you're not getting paid for it, why are you doing it?
Yeah, and we do get paid for it. I mean, but the majority of the peer guidance is that purpose before profit side. So there are those early stage companies that might be at a 50K, 100K type ARR, and they just don't have money to give to somebody, to a consultant, to anybody for that matter. Every cent is gonna have to go back into hopefully paying some of their bills and growing the business. And so that's where we want to make sure that we're there for them and we can have those coffees and talk to them and make introductions and open doors for them. And that's just that's us as a community in general all over Alberta. You see a ton of that. It's awesome. On the other side, we really want to find those companies that want to grow and scale. And I'm not saying scale to get ready for investment. If that's something that you want to do, we can help you. But let's grow your sales. Let's grow your business. Let's focus on what's going to make you money and get this to the next level, whether it be from 1 million to 2 million, or maybe it's just expanding across Canada. Like we helped Karma Campervans go from 2 to 6 locations, and we're putting together their plan for the United States now. So it is something that we're very proud of, and we can do because we have so much knowledge. We can do all that. We have our own HR firm. We help with IP. We help with grants. We help with business and marketing. And then if we don't, and if there's something, our philosophy is our goals for you not to be our client. We should be able to come in there and do this in 3 to 6 months, and the money that you're paying us goes back into your company right away to hire for the people that you need. So it's a very different philosophy. We've garnered a very good reputation on what we've done and what we do. And then once we're done, we just hang around as advisors, as unpaid advisors that are there for you. So if there's something in the HR side that you need some help with, Mo would be able to come back and say, hey, yeah, do this, and be there. We have a monthly call with them. So we don't run away. And once we're done, we just stay there and help them. So it's very gratifying. It's fun. Again, it's something that I'm very proud of what we've created. When it comes to the financing side, like the VC side is a little farther down the road, maybe your Series A type thing, but I play in the angel, usually first money in, and there's some great company. I do it all through startup TNT now. And TNT's invested over $13 million into 100 plus companies throughout the prairies right now. And we've done a very good job of bringing an angel syndicate together that gives everybody, everybody might not have the experience as I do as working in the industry, being an entrepreneur. Some of them might be accountants. Some of them might be any profession they want, but they want to start investing in some of these companies and buying into all the great things that are happening here. So it gives them an opportunity to come and learn and understand how to do proper due diligence on a company. Why should you invest in a company? Why you shouldn't? What you're looking for? But more importantly, these people also bring in very valuable information that it works. And why it works is that team mentality. Why you have those jerseys back there. When you have 30 people from different backgrounds investing into a company, you have 30 different sets of eyes on it. It makes for an impressive due diligence. And I still sit there like we're going through our summit right now. And I'm like, oh man, shit, I never would have thought of that question. And it's like, that's just a really good question that person asked. And it's just, again, it's that team mentality. And I think that's what's made TNT, so successful and it allowed us to hang around for 5-ish type years as a syndicate and invest in those companies that are worthy. Most of them will have some sort of ARR, right? Maybe I think the biggest one, I don't quote me on this, but I think some of them have been probably in that 1.5 to $2 million in sales, but a lot of them are probably under $500,000 in sales when we invested in them. So it's a really early shot at these companies. And then when you do that, you're there for the ride with them, and they're there to help. And even companies we invested in 4 years ago, I still go out for coffees with them and just saying, "Hey, Jade, can I pick your brain?" "Oh yeah, shit, let's go." So it's fun. I think the any money that may be invested into this community, especially by myself, I think I bring more knowledge than value on that side.
But there's so much to that though, because I mean, even in today's world, I tell when I'm running a workshop, doing a free event, the world is changing so fast. We don't have 5 or 7 years anymore to become profitable. I think if we go back 20 years in time, we kind of could build a 5-year business plan, an 8-year business plan. You had time to figure it out. Nowadays, it feels like if we can't get up and running and be at least cash flow positive in 12 or 18 months, it gets a lot harder. It's just the world is changing so fast. So, and I guess to that last point too is, why on earth would anybody want to make their own mistakes? So have access to your folks, the knowledge you guys have, and not repeat the mistakes of everybody else. Why would we not want to do that? So I think it's great for them. Yeah. One more question. When should an entrepreneur consider outside money? Is it for early stage? You said that on the angel side, you kind of like the word was first money in sort of thing. But as an entrepreneur, when would I want to or consider using or approaching somebody like yourself to kind of go, I could use some cash, and what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a loaded question, right? I mean, you can ask every entrepreneur and they'll say, yeah, it's the day I opened, right?
Right.
But the question I always ask entrepreneurs is like, how can I help you with everything except giving you money? Like, tell me what your problems are. Let's focus on what the problems are, other than, everybody thinks that a $200,000 check is going to solve all your problems. Well, it's not, right? It'll buy you some more time, but it's not going to solve your problems. Right. So I really focus and tell entrepreneurs to focus on building a solid business. Like, get there, go out and sell it to somebody other than your mom and dad. Investors are looking for that. Like, they want to see, and Alberta and the prairies are way, way, way different than Silicon Valley. We're never going to be Silicon Valley. And I don't think we ever want to be Silicon Valley or New York or Boston or any of those. We do things different here. It's a prairie way. Like, my wife and I worked hard for our money, and we want, if I'm going to invest it, I want to make sure that we invest it in something that we believe in. And I'm not going to invest in an idea. I don't go to the casino and drop money on red and black and play. Like, I value the money that I've made. Have I gone and lost money with friends playing Texas Hold'em? Absolutely. But that's more entertainment. So I really, I don't think that's ever going to change here. And when these companies, if they can get somewhere and show some traction and show that they're out there and have some solid pilots or paid pilots, or people are out there paying for their services, this is my opinion, that's when you should probably go and start looking to ask for money and look for capital investors that'll be around. Because once you take money, it's not your company anymore, right? I mean, you're answering to the investors. It's not, if your goal was like, I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to work for myself. As soon as you accept that first check, you're not working for yourself anymore. These investors want to, whatever their number is, 10, 50, 100 return on their investment. And now you're answering to them. And now it's not maybe why you started a business. Like, of all the business exits I've been a part of, none of them have been over $9 million in sales. Like, you don't have to, like, if you want to, you don't need to be $100 billion company to have a big exit. Like, there's so many great companies out there that build it, live it, work it for 10 years. And then they maybe, 15 years, if they're saying, okay, maybe it's time for me to move on. And then they'll find a buyer for it. We just never hear about those ones because they're too small. Yeah. Right. And I mean, those are the heartbeat of our economy. It makes up 90% of our jobs. And I think as a community, we should start focusing on that and celebrating some of those successes as well.
That's absolutely fascinating. No, I never realized that. So the success for you then, if as an angel investor, is it to then put the money in and get the money out, or is it to work with the owner for as long as possible? Or is it to then put it up for sale and transfer ownership to a new player?
Yeah, I mean, as an angel investor, I definitely want a very handsome return on my investment. Personally, I would love to get 10 to 20 return on it. In a perfect world, it's never a perfect world, right? You might find one that you get more, and you might find that you lose some of them. So that's a risk, right? But I don't know. I mean, I just think that people should just be aware, and before you take that first check, and more importantly, I mean, especially that friends and family check, I that is one that I I caution entrepreneurs the most on, right? That's a different. If you're going to come and find angels, we're ready to lose X amount of dollars that we're investing in you. Family and friends is a different cup of tea. You might have a friend or a cousin or a good buddy, and they give you 5 grand or 10 grand or something, and then maybe they hit financial troubles and they come back to you and say, "Hey, I need that money back now." Well, that money's not coming back. That's gone, right? So that, I mean, that's the one that I caution the most about, and because it's just, I've seen, friendships and family, and there's so many bad things happen because of that. But it is, again, I mean, I can't stress enough, Kent, like how these companies should just really focus on building something that they're proud to get up and call a great business every morning. And you don't have to sprint to become $100 billion company. Like, just, if you sell, you open up your first year and you sell 50K, that's great. And the next year you sell 100, and then maybe you jump to 250, and then you get to $1 million in 5 years. Man, you've still built yourself a really good company. Like, again, we got to celebrate some of those things and cherish them and support them just as much as the ones that may scale quickly, and find a niche somewhere.
Love it. Love it. If you look back all the years of entrepreneurship, and if you could pull out one of the greatest lessons you've learned that maybe entrepreneurs don't get right fast enough, could you pick one out, and what would it be?
Oh man, God, there's so many lessons I've learned, like good ones, bad ones. But I mean, the one thing that like, even from the day I said, like, okay, I'm quitting a very high paying job and becoming an entrepreneur, and my wife said, if you got to believe, if this is what you want, you got to believe in it, you got to do it. But she always said, be honest with yourself. If it's not working, if you're struggling with it, if you're whatever it is, be honest. Like, if you have to walk away, walk away. Like, like, I mean, there's conversations that I have with entrepreneurs out there saying, "Oh man, I'm going to take a mortgage on my house to keep this alive another year," and I'm like, "No, don't." Like, you don't do that. You're putting your life, your family at risk, financially, potentially ruining everything that you might have created before over something that's probably not going to work. So that's something that I think entrepreneurs really have to sit and understand it, that if you have to walk away at some point, you have to walk away, but you really have to be honest with yourself. And I mean, as you can see, that can goes for anywhere. If you're lying about your numbers, you're not honest with yourself. If you're lying about your sales or your pipeline, you're not honest with yourself, right? Those are things, as an entrepreneur, you really have to be honest with yourself, because if you're lying to yourself, you're just going to dig yourself into a hole that you may never get out of.
Love it. I don't think I've ever heard that one before. So thank you very much. Maybe one last question. As an active investor, if there's somebody out there watching, listening to this, that you would like to invest in, what kind of person do you want knocking at your door? Whether it be the type of business, the type of person, or maybe the industry's kind of, if you had one person only who'd come in and you wanted to invest in, what would be the characteristics that you care about the most?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of my investor thesis, and everybody has their own. And at the top of mine is founder. Right? I have to believe that founder is driven, is honest, is hardworking, is not scared to fail, will never give up, type things. Those types of traits that I look for in a founder, and a founder that's learnable, right? Like, when we work and we have meetings and we're done, at the end of the day, we might have had a 2-hour session or something like that, but we look at the founder and say, this is your company. You have to make the decision. We've had a lot of conversations here. Take it away and come back with a decision that you think is right for you and your company. And then we'll support that decision. And if you fail, we'll move on. But again, those founders that just, if I hear one, but I don't think I ever want to work with you, because that means you know it all. And I mean, like I said, even here after 9 years of investing and all the entrepreneur things, I gave you that example of someone asking a question that I said, that's a damn good question. That's what I think make great entrepreneurs, are the ones that are able to just suck everything that people are telling them and filter and then make that quick decision. And those are some of the best founders that we've invested in, that I have seen. and I just love working with, and there's so many examples I could give you out there. Like it's just fascinating how many great people we have in our ecosystem.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Where can people reach out to you? Been to breakfast with you and the crew for Founders Coffee. Where would people start to learn more about you and get part of your ecosystem, for lack of a better word?
Yeah, Founders Coffee every Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. at Red's Diner in Kensington. If you're a founder, entrepreneur, small business, have an idea, please show up. I mean, obviously, I'm on LinkedIn, everywhere. I'm pretty active there. You can, if you Google me, you'll find my baseball stats and hockey stuff. But there's all my business stuff there too. So, yeah, I'm open 24/7, and the one thing that I actually forgot to mention is one of the things I should start to lead with is that we just finished launching or completing a 6-month mental health course for entrepreneurs. And right now we're in the process of hopefully being able to launch a 10-month that is for entrepreneurs. So stay tuned to something like that. It's a tough journey. It's a journey you don't have to take alone. And we've all, struggled, cried, laughed, punched walls, the things that entrepreneurs have done, right? So, keep an eye open for that. I'm hoping that we can make that happen within the next few months.
Love it. No, I think there's a great space there. And I did run a workshop a couple of weeks ago just on that same topic around how do we become more resilient? How do we, not give up, but at the same time have the intestinal fortitude to move on, but in a healthy way? It can feel lonely, it can be hard, and if we're doing it right, we're always learning, which in itself brings its own kind of weight upon us. So absolutely stay tuned. So thank you very much. Any party comments before we sign off?
No, thank you very much, and I hope hope you come by a Founders Coffee one of these days. We get to catch up ourselves.
Absolutely, sounds good. Thanks, Jade.
All right, take care, Kent. Enjoy, everybody.
Bye.